To get started with XPression, we want to double-click on the XPression Graphite logo. This will launch the XPression Graphite edition of the graphics platform. Inside of XPression, this includes both our graphics live graphic channel, as well as our 2 video clip server channels as well. Quickly looking at the user interface, there is a layout section and a sequence section, or playout side. In the layout side, you have your project manager for what project is open, your scene manager for all of your individual scenes or templates, the object manager, which is going to display the objects for the graphical elements for building your layers inside of each scene. There's a lot more thorough in how to use XPression in the XPression U sections. We're just generalizing what the sections are for. Your object inspector, which when we open a graphic will make more sense. On the right hand side, you can create base objects, text layers, backgrounds, and then 3D primitives that you can then attach your materials to. So if I wanted to take an image and place it in 3D space, I could simply turn on a quad and then add that material to the quad. And again, there's a lot of tutorials in the XPression U section for explaining how to build new graphics and packages. With this, we're going to focus on opening an existing package and working with it in how the XPression sequencer works. You'll notice that you have your 3 output channels, so your Graphite CG output 1 full motion channel with multiple layers, and then you have your 2 clip channel outputs that have a single layer that feed into the clip inputs on the production switcher of Graphite. First thing that we're going to do is File, Open Project, navigate on the computer to the D drive, which is the media drive and contains all of the included XPression Graphite packages. So inside of Graphite, we'll go into our Evening News, and we'll click on the Evening News package. So this package will now launch. No need to save, as there is nothing to save. Now this is going to open this graphic and all of its elements. So this graphics package, as we can see in the categories, has a setup page, which is the first page that we open on, full screen items, lower third items, an open, an OTS, some transitions, and then elements called render views that are created to help facilitate use inside of other graphics. So each one of these templates allows us the ability to modify them, duplicate them, or use them in the sequencer when it comes to playout. If I want to have a different lower third title for different people or for different sections of my production, I'm not going to duplicate this and create them as scenes. We want to create these as templates. So we're going to move to the sequencer side to when we want to play them out and fill in all of our different texts and lower thirds that we want to create as an example. So with this base package, one of the things to note is that you have a configuration page. This configuration page details and explains exactly how to replace the color and the global logo to modify this and create this for each application, where the logo could be different and where the color or the accent color properties are also a different color. So simply follow the instructions on screen to modify them. By changing those items, the rest of the graphics will automatically change as well. So now we want to move to the sequence side so that we can play out our graphics. The first thing you'll note is that there is a pre-built sequencer list with one of each of the graphics, as well as a couple of transitional element examples as well. Now, these graphics are all template based, meaning I can drag a copy into the sequencer and then modify the content in real time so that it displays when this element or page is taken to air. Now, this is a pre-built sequencer list that comes standard. it is easy to take all of the items by shift clicking and delete everything out of the sequencer. Now, this does not delete the templates. This just deletes the instance of that template. Now, if I wanted to recreate something similar, we could add a group, or by simply adding a single graphic into the system, like a lower third, or the bug to start off with, you'll note that it automatically creates a group for me. So we could start off by changing our groups so that our groups can have larger IDs if we choose. We can assign any ID we want to any of the numbers, making it easy to quick recall or fast recall these elements. Items that are modifiable will show up. So in this logo, I have the ability to adjust the temperature because the temperature is a published field, whereas the time is derived directly from the system time of the computer. I can name the group, so this could be my first block, or block A. And so on block A, I want to have the bug come in, and then I might have a couple of lower thirds I'm going to use in the first beginning. And then I could possibly go from that to a full screen. And then maybe I'll start a new block. So I'll come up here, click on the plus sign to add in another group, and we're going to call this block B. And now maybe in block B, we're going to continue on with start off on a pie chart, come back on camera, so it's going to have a lower third for that person. Selecting the graphic, you can now see the example of all the text objects in the preview window down here on the right. Now you could click on each individual text line, and you'll note that on the left-hand side, the inspector will jump to those sections. With the lower thirds, you're going to notice that you have the ability for anchor for preview. If you disable this and turn off this visibility, in the preview screen, you'll no longer see that anchor. It'll just be the graphic. Leaving this in uses this image, but this is only for preview. This will not go out to air. With the upper flag text removed, you'll notice that it automatically removes that line item. With the title, this is where we can enter the title. We can change our subtitle. And now that graphic is ready. Now maybe on our next one, we're going to go to a different person. And with this person, we're going to want to keep in the upper flag because this will be breaking news. And this could be anchor 2. News at 7 exclusive. When we look at the OTS, we can drag one of those in. And inside of the OTS, we have a similar element where we've got an anchor, so we can make that visible or not visible. You've got the ability to pick whether you want the OTS to be left side or right side. You have the ability to have a breaking flag, so it'll change the color on the accent or not breaking. You also have the ability to change your images. Now, images can be changed using the materials feature, as well as looking through image files anywhere on the computer. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and grab this image and replace it with this image. You'll note that you're able to change the texture position as well as the texture scale. So if we size up our texture to fill in the bracket, then we can go to texture position and adjust it. It will move in the graphic. Again, we've got a title, so here we can put in, and when you start adding a subtitle, like flyby, it automatically adds that text into the graphic as well. So now we've got our graphics all pre-built nicely in the way that we want to transition through them. And the first thing we're going to do now is in the sequencer is look to our right. This is the method in which a transition in, so taken on an enter or a plus key, or a double click of the graphic, and then how it transitions out if the take out command or the minus key on the numpad is sent. Layer is referring to where in the physical space on the same frame buffer. So what's key in the way XPression works is that a layer, higher is in front, lower is behind. This allows us to use this single channel of graphics to put multiple graphics simultaneous, back to back, and swappable all at the exact same time. So this gives us a huge ability to manipulate our look without requiring multiple channels at the exact same time. So let's go ahead and have a look at what this looks like on our system. So here we've got our graphic that is already inside and transitioned in. And you'll note that with the CG on air, we've got our lower third in, we're now set up on our bug. There is multiple ways that we can advance this graphic. So one of the things that we could do is use the ability by selecting key 1. By selecting key 1 in our virtual panel, this will toggle key 1 to the controls. So we could select the next key, which will advance the graphic. So from the control surface, we can also control the graphic list. So we can move down, we can move up. So if we wanted to resume this graphic, we can simply hit next, and that will advance the list as well as resume and take out the graphic. Alternately, other elements that we're able to use are from the keyboard and mouse and control it directly inside of the XPression, using the arrow keys to move up and down, or to use the mouse to select the desired graphic, double click on it to take it to air, or use the enter or plus key. The enter key will take it to air but leave the bar in the same location. The plus key will take it to air but advance the bar as needed. So now that we're ready to go to our next graphic, we'll select our talent that we want on camera 4 in preview, and we'll go ahead and make sure that we're going to keep the keyer on air because we don't want the logo to go away, so we'll uninclude the keyer so that it stays on air. And now we will cut to our graphic and take that next graphic so that his graphic activates on air. Now, leaving that graphic in, because we can see that it has advanced to the next item, we can go ahead and at the same time bring in that OTS. So here we have the ability to note that all of these graphics are coming off of the exact same XPression channel. So the lower third bug is layer 99 on channel 1. The lower third comes in on layer 10, and that's why we see it behind our graphic. So because it's behind, anytime we take and resume this graphic, we see it animate in on the same channel but behind that other layer, thus allowing us the ability to control everything right from the sequencer and have everything go the way we wanted. As we move forward between these, we could also resume these graphics at the same time if we built a custom control. Custom control building will come in a later tutorial when we show how to tie together custom controls for controlling the XPression. Now, with this content, this being our full screen, you'll note that the full screen happens on layer 0. So because this happens on layer 0, it will currently replace the OTS, but would leave in the lower third. So what I might want to do is release the lower third. I could potentially resume the OTS so that it goes out. But if it was in and we were to run the full screen, you'll notice that it instantly replaces and cuts on as if it went over top and animates itself in. But it removed the other graphic, so upon resuming this, this will now go offline. At this point, it'd be very easy to select back to a different shot, which is now underneath, which would be camera 3, so that when we resume that graphic, it flies off and comes out to our 2 shot, where they could be discussing what's going to be coming back when they come back from the break, thus allowing us to select black, key 1, and now we can dissolve down to black, taking the bug off with us. Upon coming back, we could already have the pie chart activated. So simply double clicking on the pie chart brings in our pie chart, has that activated, still has our bug online, so that we're able to go ahead and transition this, but we'll do it with camera 2 underneath, so that when we come back online, the polling is already up. We can go ahead and resume the graphic and bring back in the lower third. So this is a method in which leveraging the abilities of the sequencer allows us to simply grab and create our rundown of our shows how we want to. You'll notice that there are plenty of templates that are pre-built and come associated in the different packages for the different types of content. There's news and there's sports. Tutorials focusing on each of the individual included graphics packages and how they operate can be found separately in the Graphite University section. This tutorial, we hope, got you started with XPression, how to control it, and how to integrate it with the Graphite production system. Thanks again for watching, and if there's anything we can show you in the future, just let us know by sending us an email at switchers@rossvideo.com. Have a great day.